Hey there, and welcome to today's class. Today we'll be doing a full body yoga routine just to get our bodies moving and our daily exercises going, as well as maybe getting a little stretch going. So to begin, we'll start off in a child's pose with our knees as wide as the mat, toes touching together. We're just going to sink our chest and our head all the way down, walking our hands out in front of us as we just lay here and bring our focus to our breath, clearing our minds as we just forget about all of our stresses and strains outside of the mat. And then walk your hands a little bit further out in front of you. Just feel yourself getting a nice little extra lengthening going on in your spine. You really just stretch out your back and your shoulder muscles. And then pushing yourself up, you're going to come into a tabletop. So bring your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. We're then going to go into some circular motions around our wrists just to get them warmed up. And you can maybe include some maybe free movements in your rotations just to also warm up your spine and your hips. And you can change over in the other, making the movement as big or as small as your body needs. And coming back to a neutral spine, taking a breath in, we're going to go through some rounds of cat-cow. So breathing in, you lift your chin up as you dip your belly down. And then exhaling, bringing your chin to your chest as you round your back out. And see if you can look towards your belly button. Breathing in to come down into your cow. And breathing out into your cat. Going through 3 more rounds at your own pace. Focusing on linking your movements with your breath. And going through one last round. You can come back to a neutral spine. And keeping your right leg grounded, you're going to step your left leg out to the side, straightening it out as much as you can. And then keeping both legs grounded as is, you can take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to push your hips back, bringing it close to your right foot. You should feel a nice juicy stretch going on in your left leg. And pushing back up into a tabletop. You can swap over to the other side. So grounding your left leg as you kick your right leg out, taking a breath in to prepare, and exhaling to push back into the stretch. Pushing back up into a tabletop, and then keeping your knees grounded, you're going to walk your hands slightly out in front of you as you lower your chest and your hips all the way down to the mat. And then floating your hands just off the mat, you now use your back muscles to raise your chest up as high as you can for a baby cobra. And then exhaling, planting your hands back down as you push your hips up and come into your first downward dog. And from our down dog, starting with our right leg, we're going to kick it up nice and high for a three-legged dog, keeping that leg straight. And exhaling, we're going to bring our right knee over to our right elbow, tapping it in before kicking back up. Exhale to bring it to your left elbow. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, bring it down to the middle. You hover your leg up here just for a breath. Really engaging your core, pushing the earth away as hard as you can. And then exhaling, you're going to kick your foot over to the left as you lower your knee and your back, your hips. As we come into a pigeon pose, you might want to shift your back knee a little bit further back. As you come and lift your chest up, placing your fingertips onto the mat just to help with some stability. As you raise our chest up, opening our hearts. As we just hold here and breathe. And then planting both hands down to the mat, you're going to tuck your back toes as you lift your back knee and bringing your back foot, your right toes to point to the back of the mat. You're going to bring your back heel down as you open your chest out to the left as we come into a variation of an assisted side. And then with your right leg, you're going to push it out further back to the right. You make a kickstand before lifting your chest up, and you're going to bring your left hand to your left leg, and with your right hand throwing it over your head as we come into a gate pose. And then windmilling your arms down to the mat, kicking back into a plank, and holding here for breath in. For exhaling to chaturanga down, bringing your chest and chin all the way down. And then inhaling, keep your hands planted as you push your chest up, coming into a cobra. Before exhaling, tucking your toes as you push back into a downward facing dog. And then moving on to the other side, left leg kicking up nice and high for your three-legged dog. Exhaling, bring your knee to your left elbow. Kicking back up. Exhale to your right. Inhale back up. And then exhale, bringing your knee over to the center, holding it there as you float, really engaging your core. Before exhaling, kicking your foot to the right as you come meet me in your pigeon. And then planting your left hand down as you bring your front foot pointing to the back. As you open your chest out to the right, raising your right hand over your head for your side plank. And then kickstanding your left foot. You bring your right hand to your back leg, and throwing your left hand over your head for your gate pose. And then windmilling your hands back down to mat, kicking your legs back into plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to push up for cobra. Before exhaling back into your downward dog. And then from your dog, you can just walk your hands towards the top of the mat. Come to meet me in a forward fold. And here you can just hang out for a bit, swaying your body from side to side, bending one leg at a time. You just let the whole gravity do the work for you. And then coming to stillness, you can take a breath in, placing your hands on your knees as you lift your chest up halfway, focusing on keeping a nice straight back. Exhale, coming back down to your forward fold. And then tucking your chin into your chest, you can slowly roll up, coming into a standing pose. And when you straighten up, you can roll your shoulders back, palms facing forward, as we come into a Tadasana. Then moving on to some balancing. We're going to keep our left leg grounded as we raise our right leg up, and then grabbing onto our knee with our right hand, we can pull it over to the right. You get a nice little stretch going on in our hips. And then with our left hand, you can just stretch it out to the side, just to help with your balance. And then bring your leg back to center. You have an option of either grabbing underneath your knee and straightening your leg out in front of you, or if you have the balance and the stability, you can take your left hand to grab your right toes, kicking your leg out in front of you, and once more with your right hand out to the side for the balance. And then slowly bending your knee, grounding it back down, and we can move on to the other side. So left leg coming up to hip height, grabbing your knee with your left hand as you pull it over to the left, right hand reaching out to the side. You can maybe even find a spot in front of you just to focus on to help with the balance. And then once more, coming back to center, either grabbing underneath your knees or piece gripping your left toes to kick your leg out in front of you and with your left hand out to the side. Bending your knee, and you can ground it back down. And you can meet me laying on your stomachs. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So with our forearms out in front of us, with our elbow below our shoulders. And then we're going to go into an extra stretch by lifting our left leg up, bringing our knee in line with our hips as we come into a half frog. And from here, we're just going to really push our chest out, shoulders pulled back. As we find a nice little stretch going on in our lower backs. And straight, bring out both our legs back together. Make a move onto the other side. So raising your right leg up in line with the hip. And really focusing on trying to push your shoulders as far down as you can, away from your ears. And then bringing both legs back together. You can meet me laying on your backs. And you're going to bend both your knees. So we're going to move on to a bridge. So making sure your knees are as close to you as you can, to the point where you can touch your heels. And starting with our hips, we're going to gently start lifting it up, followed by our lower back, mid back, and then upper back, to the point where we have a nice straight line from our knees to our shoulders. And you have an option to either stay laying as is, or you can join me in some extra variations. So keeping now your right leg grounded, straighten your left leg up, and see if you can raise it up in line with your knee. Holding here for a breath in, and then as you exhale, you can bend it, bring your left foot down. And we can swap over to the other side. So right leg kicking up, really engaging your core. You hold for one more breath in, and then exhale, bring it back down. And you can bring your back all the way down once more. And keeping your knees bent, you can hug them into your chest, grabbing onto your shins. You can maybe just sway from side to side, giving yourself a little gentle back massage before releasing your legs, laying them out in a T shape, and then letting your legs fall over to the left as we come into a belly twist. And lifting your legs back to center. Can move over to the other side. And finally, bring your legs down to the mat with your arms straight out on your sides. Just lay in our Shavasana, just relaxing, bring our focus to our breath. We just clear our minds and drift away. And then bring your focus back to your body. Taking some nice deep breaths in and out. While slowly wiggling your fingers and your toes. Twisting your wrists and your ankles. And bringing your hands above your head. Clasping your hands together as you do a nice full body stretch. Like you're waking up in the morning. And then keeping your eyes still closed. You can either stay laying as is, or you can come meet in a seated position. If you just take the next few moments just to reflect, really soak up the practice. And we just check in on how we feel, and maybe even give ourselves a little mental pat on the back for making time for ourselves and looking after ourselves. And then with one last time, bring your palms together at heart center and then take one breath in. And as you exhale, in a bow to close our practice. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you're feeling a little bit better, a little bit more energized. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like me to do. And hope to see you again next time on the yoga mat.